Welcome back. This is Ultra Black Love Podcast. Clearly, it's a little different setup. It's me solo. We rocking. I ain't never done no solo by myself, but anytime I'm rocking solo or without Lek, I'm gonna just call it the place. That's an ode to my great granddad. He had a bar, restaurant, whatever you want to call it. But shout out to the place. The place is gonna be a safe man for black men to come here and get off whatever they need to get off. So here he is. We rocking. I'm solo. If it's a little shaky, this is my first time ever doing anything by myself. It's just me in the studio with this camera. Sunday morning, happy. My little boy came in and told me, Happy Father's Day. That made my day. I didn't even know. I'm not even a words of affirmation person, but, man, that made my life. My boy just coming in and telling me Happy Father's Day. So I got a little notes here, a couple points I want to hit. Like I said, this is my first time rocking solo, so if it's a little shaky, I apologize. But, man, we rocking. Like I said, shout out to all the dads out there that's rocking with their children, taking care of their kids, man. It's underrated, man. Our role in society, man. America, from the time we got here, it was set up for us not to be fathers or to have less of opportunity to be fathers for our children. So, like I said, I woke up blessed to be able to be a father, to be able to be in my child's life, and I don't take that for granted at all. So, I'm going to just get into my fatherhood experience, man. I've been a dad about 2.5 years now. Before then, I feel like, I don't know, I knew I always wanted to be a dad, but when my son got here, it changed everything. I didn't know how much he would change my life, how much I feel like he would change the world. I think he changed the world because he sparked something in me I didn't know I had in myself, and something I didn't know I could share with the rest of the world. Before he got here, man, I had a lot of family issues, a lot of issues with my mom, under the table things with my dad. Not necessarily we had issues, but we wasn't perfect. We still not perfect, but it's a lot of development. As we storied before on a lot of our podcast episodes and stuff like that, I didn't start going to therapy till he got here, or right before he got here. I can't remember, around that time, and it really changed my life for the better. If he didn't get here, I don't think I ever would have went, and I probably would have still been dealing with that stuff forever. And so I don't know, I'm not going to put it on my son to change the world himself, but he definitely sparked something in me that's going to help a lot of people. Without him, this podcast wouldn't even be here. So shout out to my boy, man. Like I said, I didn't even know what fatherhood was supposed to look like. I just knew that I wanted to be there. But as far as emotional development and just all of the smaller things that go into being a father, I just didn't know. All I knew was how my dad raised me, and that's it. I mean, I kind of am able to grow off of that experience, like I said, because therapy and some other things. But it's great, man. I'm glad that I went and sat down with my dad yesterday. We had lunch for the first time in a long time. We hadn't sat down. I mentioned earlier we've been having like a little rough year. We ain't been seeing eye to eye all the time. And not that we have to always, but it's been a lot of things. But he started going to therapy himself too. And we've been able to talk out some things, work through some things, and just in his growth. And like I said, I think Noah is the cause of that, because we had a conversation in January where I, having to be a man, I had to sit down with him and like, look, man, I know you got a lot of things going on. I need you to work on them, because I'm working on myself, because I don't want to pass some things down to my son. So I need you to work on your things too, because I don't need them getting passed down to my son. And he been doing that, and I'm very proud. So I'm going to give my dad a shout out on that. But we sat down yesterday, and I was able to, and we've been doing this for the past 2 years, but I don't have to forgive him, because I don't think he raised me bad, but I just let him know, like, I understand why you raised me the way you raised me. And it was good. It was good, but I know I'm going to be better for my son. My dad, he was 20, single. He came from a single-parent household. He had me. He was single, whatever, but he raised me pretty much. Just worked his butt off. He was the provider. That was the role he played for our household. He just went out and made a buck, 12-hour days, 14-hour days. He'd get up, don't see him when we go to school, come home. Don't see him till it's almost time for bed a lot of times. He just worked. He's in the food industry, so he just worked a lot of them hours, holidays, all of that. So Pops was always gone a lot during my childhood, but he was always providing. And I didn't know anything different, so I never really resented him for it. But, now that I'm older, and, I mean, he's older, he's like, I wish I could have been there. And it's like, I understand. Depending on your financial situation and just what you have and what you can do, just depends on, you only could do what you know how to do. And all he knew at the time was to be there for me and provide. He was there, no doubt, but all the emotional stuff, he just I mean, it really wasn't there at the time, and he provided some of that better for my younger siblings. I'm about 6 years older than my closest sibling, so he provided that a lot for them, and also like emotional maturity. Um, I got a lot of whoopings when I was younger, and justified for sure, but and it's a lot of things that he said he wish he would have did different, but. Um, I'm glad. I'm not glad he did it because like who wants to get a whooping, but I'm glad he did it because now I know, now I understand more when other people going through different stuff and like that. So it's like I don't necessarily have to. I'm older. I was able to see my dad grow. Like I said, I'm 28 now, and my closest sibling he about 21, 22. So it's like I was able to see him mature as far as even parenting my younger children, kind of not children, younger siblings, kind of growing out of that phase. Whereas, and this ain't no diss on him to make him feel bad, but like during my child, he would throw a lot of stuff and really kind of be angry. And then my youngest sibling, he's more of a talker and is able to communicate on a different level, and which is amazing because that's how I want to be with my son now. So, like I said, I had my son when we was, I think 26. Was that 26? Yeah, it had to be like 26. So I was a little older than him, but I was able to at least kind of see how I wanted to or how I didn't want to parent my child based off of that. But I'm very grateful, like I said, for how I was raised to have a dad there, because a lot of people out there don't even have a dad. So as much as you weren't necessarily perfect for me, Pops, I really appreciate you for just being there. It was always a thing for him to be there for me. I can never say that he wasn't there for me. He might have been busy, but I can't say he ever wasn't there for me. So I just want to just say shout out, to my dad. But I kind of mentioned earlier, like you don't have to father a child to be the biological dad to be a dad or to be celebrated on a today like today. Like I said, I got a stepdad, Derek. We don't talk as much as we should now, but major influence on my life, man. Nicest man that I ever known. Give you a shirt off his back. Raised me and my brother like his own. He never looked at us any different. He ain't never have his own children. He ain't never fathered his own children. He doing the same thing for some other kids out there right now. He got a family right now that, I mean, he just bring him in. That's just kind of the guy he is. And I really do appreciate that. So you don't have to father your own kid to be a father. Like I said, all my uncles, man, they they treat me like they own. One phone call, they there. We might not talk for months, but if I need some, one phone call, they there. They pop up, boom, what you need. Car issues, girl issues, whatever it need. Like I said, Uncle Calvin, Uncle Frankie, Uncle Keith, we just kind of rekindled our not conversation, but relationship recently. He lives across the country, but I went and visited him last December. Greatest thing I could have ever done, man. Just to have older people that have been through some things that you could speak with. That's 20 years older than you, 20 plus years older than you, that could put you on game. My man out there got his family, been through a lot of things, had some ups and some downs, but we got kind of the same personality. So I want to say shout out to him because he's been there for me these past 6 months or so. And his influence, I can't even, that 6 months, man, it's changed my whole life for sure. I keep saying a lot of stuff changed my whole life, but it's just amazing the people that get put into your life and how much it could change. And I know I could be rambly. This is my first time recording solo, like I said, but we're rolling. So I just want to give a shout out to them. I just want to, again, give a shout out to all the fellas around my age that I talk to about fatherhood and stuff like that. Just seeing or being around other dads just makes me continue to want to be a good dad. Like, it's weird. It's just like, man, we keep bringing each other up. Like, it's kind of corny, but whenever we see each other, we ask what we got going on, but always check in on the kids and what they got going on. Always watching other people's kids through social media, whatever it may be. So shout out to them for always being involved because, I mean, society, a lot of times men think they're just there to kind of work and provide, and that's it. I bring the money, I keep the lights on, and that is what it is. But that's something I'll talk about later. I just want to make sure I give my flowers right now while I can here at the beginning so they can hear it, because I don't know how long I'm going today. I'm planning to keep it short, but, I mean, who knows? Who knows? So, like I said, man, it's a learning experience. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm rambling. This is new. I just realized how new this is, but I kind of want to get into why I really want to sit down and do this today, and how I think fatherhood is really important. Uh, Not only why it's important, but why it's an opportunity. It's a blessing to be able to be a father. A lot of people look at it. I kind of took it for granted too. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a kid and I'm gonna be there, but I kind of took it for granted because I didn't really realize that for many years we weren't even afforded the opportunity to be fathers. And I'm a true father anyway, and I'm blessed to be able to be a complete father, or at least try to be. Um, as we know, I'm black. You know what I'm saying? You can see me if you're on camera, but if you can't see me, I'm black. It's a Ode to Black Love podcast. And for many years, our families were separated through slavery. You know, it's undeniable. A lot of the men were sold off, separated. And not only that, even when they were there, they didn't even have uh, control over their own children. They had no say so over their own children. Slave owners did. And, you know, that had a big impact over, you know, how can you be there when you could be sold off next week for your children? It's not even up to you. Uh, a lot of times, you didn't even choose who you chose to mate with. Your slave owner, you know, you was a stud. You just made it with a woman. You planted your seed, and your child could be gone soon, or you could be gone soon. So we didn't really have the opportunity early on to be there for our children. You know, a lot of separation. And like I said, I'm not about to get into the meat and the how the system was, you know, all of that. But you know, even then, it's kind of, you know, the more that I go to school, the more that I learn and stuff like that. You kind of learn like it's hard for it was hard for people to get close to their children back then. I mean, there were some that were there for sure. I'm sure, like I said, I'm not about to get into the whole research, but it's hard to get close to somebody when you know that you could be sold in a minute, or you're not even truly able to be there for them. You might see your kids on a Sunday or a couple times, or you might get a woman pregnant and be gone before the baby even come. Or you know, it's just that kind of deal. So society even was set up from the time we got here for us to not even be fathers. That's why I woke up today saying, you know, I'm blessed to be a father, blessed to be here. So beyond that, let's say we get out of slavery and we're able to become men, become, you know, full families and get married and stuff like that. So we had all this time where we, you know, had to live with the thought of, you know, always being separated and segregated to, okay, here we are. The man goes out and makes the money for the family. Women weren't working at the time, or definitely not getting paid the same as men. So work up from sun up to sundown. So that comes to the impact. Like I said, mama's always gonna be loved. Mama was the one who raised you. They breastfed you. If they breastfed, they was there when dad was at work, and they spend the majority of the time. That was even kind of my situation, as I spoke on earlier. My stepmom was there for me. My dad was always working. She damn near raised me. I saw my dad, like I said, a couple minutes or hours of a day, a lot of times during my childhood, and so therefore my mom was the one raising me. And a lot of times that's the situation. Dad go work, put food on the table, ain't too much of a relationship with the kids, don't have too much say-so with the kids. Just the mama making sure the household runs straight. So just naturally, we always show more love to mama, right? But I feel like that's changing the society, or at least I feel like it should. But like I said, dad's always working and providing, so therefore they weren't there for the children. So that goes to kind of to the respect thing. Mama had the respect because mama was always there. How can you respect somebody that's never there, or, you know what I'm saying, have that relationship with somebody that's not never there? Yes, they providing, but money ain't everything. Emotional support is very, very important. So like I said, I'm new to this. I'm like, dang, I didn't realize how it is talking to yourself. I'm used to having somebody else to chop with. But then, you know, here we are today, and we have a lot of those same mindsets. Mama make all the decisions. Mother's Day is huge. Mama's this, mama's that. But I think it's important for the father to know, like, your emotional availability is very important. To be able to be there for your children emotionally is very important. It's not always about working and putting on food on the table. I feel like a lot of times we see ourselves as dads is here. We only get love for what we can provide. I hear that all the time. Dads can only be as they only love that they bring some. If you don't bring nothing to the table, dads can't be loved. But I think that is a societal thing, but I don't think that should be the case. Or I think we should change that. I feel like my household we changed that. Um, I'm fortunate where me and my wife we make about the same amount of money, work about the same amount of hours, so I can be there for my son just as much as she can, and I can be there emotionally. It's not just that I can just put food on the table. I'm too tired to come home and play with you and blah blah blah. But I can actually be there for you. Uh, know how you doing, hang out, just have time together on the couch, and just be there. You know what I'm saying? It, it's hard to explain. Like I just know that I'm blessed that I don't have to just work and just put food on the table, and that my son only expect me to feed him, and that's all that he expect from me. He expects a union. So, like I said, I know I'm rambling, but it's a really important topic to me. It's a really important topic to me, and so I think like dads out there, I know that a lot of us, especially if you're a single dad, y'all out there, I love y'all. Sometimes you gotta work and provide, and you not be able to be there for your children. But I think just being emotionally available and just being around is half the battle, and that goes for like dads that are dealing with custody battles and things like that. Like I feel like it's important to fight for your children. Like I said, I came from a split house, and my dad raised me, and fortunately, I had my dad to raise me. But I feel like I still deal with some issues because I feel like my mom didn't come hard enough behind me. Not that I necessarily want to go live with her, but I can't deny that I felt some type of way because I didn't see her a lot when I was younger. She said she wanted to be there for me, but other things was in the way. But I feel like that same way for dads. As much as you say your baby mama this, your baby mama that, I mean, you gotta fight for your kids. Make sure they know. There's no excuse. You know what I'm saying? You should fight for your children. There's no excuse to not be there for your children. At least know that at least let them know that you're trying. I know it's an intricate conversation. It's a lot that go into that. But like I mentioned, we were at a time where we couldn't be there for our children. So if you have the opportunity to be there for your children, it should be nothing that should get in the way of you being able to be there for your children. Like I said, it's a blessing. It's a we wasn't we wasn't supposed to make it this far. Society wasn't set up for us black men to be there for our children. So if you have the opportunity, I feel like you should be. You should do everything that you can, because there was a time where we couldn't be. We was always separated. So, and that goes kind of. Look, I'm about to get on my thing. Like, if having children before marriage, it's gonna happen. But if you got the opportunity to have a 2-parent household, that's ideal. Like stats say it. Like I said, it's ultimately like love. We talk about love. I know every situation is different. Every situation changes. But if you have the opportunity to make a 2-parent household, I think it makes it so much easier. Just statistics say it. Children turn out better if you have a 2-parent household. Like I said, shout out to the single moms doing their thing. But if you can wait till you find your right woman, that's ideal. Like I said, that slavery mentality, when we go out here and pour seeds into children that don't be there for them, that stems from slavery, where that was just our job, is to repopulate the slave owners' stable, and that was just our job, and to work. So I feel like if you can have a 2-parent household, that's ideal. You can wait. Like I said, I'm just rambling. And I just want to buck that trend too. Like I feel like society, they always think that black men ain't there for their children. I think that's a myth. First and foremost, that's a myth. But I also think that we gotta do a better job at showing it, and a better job of just being there emotionally. Because I know we there and we provide, but like I said, wow, this is totally new for me. But I just want to say this is just quick. It's literally Sunday morning. I just came in here to get a couple things off my mind. It really wasn't necessarily planned. I didn't have anything necessarily written out when I wanted to, but I felt like it was important just for me to come in here and just kind of talk and get some things off my chest. I want to just thank my wife, thank my son. I couldn't uh, I couldn't be the man that I am today without them. You know, my wife carried my son 9 months. Was home with him for a year, 2 years for COVID. But I couldn't be the man that I am today without both of them. So I just want to say a shout out to them. I know it's Father's Day and I need to take my credit and take my time off, but I truly do appreciate all that they provided for me. Like I said, I want to say thank you to my dad. Uh, I know that, again, like I said, this year hasn't been ideal for the both of us, but I feel like we've able to grow, and I feel like we'll be better for it in the future. That conversation we had yesterday when we sat down for a little pre-Father's Day joint uh, really made my heart warm to see how much you've grown in the past 6 months as a man. And I know you always say that I'm a good dad, but you are too. And shoot, life ain't over, and you can always be better, and that's the same for me. Um, Shout out to my brothers for being there for my son. I know y'all ain't dads yet, but I know that if anything ever happened to me, man, he would be straight. Like I said, it's weird talking to this camera, but I really do love y'all and appreciate y'all. I don't want it just to be. It's a hard time because we have a hard time accepting that. We always try to be humble, that humble deal. So it's like I feel like I'm giving credit for why I'm able to be as good as dad as I am because of y'all. But really, though, knowing that I have people there, that if I do fall down or anything like that, I got people that's there to pick me up. Um, and if you out there without a dad right now, or if you don't have children, I feel like it's important for us, and I need to do a better job of it. But being father figures or positive male influences on uh, those children that don't have dads, because they out there. Some people's dads passed away. Some people's dads are incarcerated. Some people's dads are just choosing not to be there on their own will. But I think it's very important for children to become what they see. And if children don't see a positive male influence, how do they know how to become one? They have to figure it out on their own. They have to learn from their mother. And they have to become the man of the house too soon sometimes and take on responsibilities that they don't necessarily have to. So if we could be there for them, help them from bumping some heads. Like I said, I need to be better at it. Shout out Corey Akers. I feel like he doesn't have children, but the amount of work he does with children in the community, I take my hat off to you. And there's other of y'all out there that I know do the same thing, but I feel like us fellas, we need to be better about being there for the black kids in the community. It ain't about just taking care of our own, or I ain't got no kids, so I don't have to worry about it. I feel like I said, I'm convicted because I feel like I need to do better too. Because I know people personally that I could be touching and spending more time with and showing them so they don't have to bump their heads and learn on their own. So I'm saying it right here. And from this day forward, I'll do better about it because it's hard to become something that you can't see. And for those children that don't know, all they know is the community that they come from or what their mama knows or what their daddy done did, or, it's just, our world is cyclical. A lot of people, if your parents are incarcerated, you're more likely to become incarcerated. If your parents have great paying jobs, you're more likely to have a great paying job. If you come from parents that graduated college, you're more likely to graduate college, and vice versa, So I need to be better and express myself and show children and take them under my wing. Like I said, being a father ain't just about taking care of your own seeds, but it's also pouring into other people's children and bringing them along with you. And I need to do better about that. Like I said, I'm just coming off the dome, so if it's a little random, I apologize. But being a black man in America, I wouldn't change it for anything. I understand that I'm not supposed to be here. I understand that they think that we statistics, but one thing I'm gonna do is make sure that I continue to build on my community. I never thought I'd be a community guy. I've always been introverted. Uh, as far as me and my house, we're gonna be fine, and f everybody else. That's really how I. That's really how my mindset was. But I understand that it's much bigger than that, and I understand that it's children out there that didn't come from my situation. Like I said, I was blessed. I had 4 parents, man. I had 4 parents, and most of their parents was alive. So I had grandparents on top of that. So I had a huge community to people to reach out to, and I understand that everybody doesn't have that. So um, I know I need to do better in that area. So again, shout out to the people that's there. Showcase your fatherhood. I ain't saying you got to be Instagram dads, but show people that look, I'm there for my kids, because it's inspiring not only to me that's a dad, but to other people that aren't. Um, I get approached now that me and Alexis have been out there, kind of in front of. We post more on social media. We got this podcast, and so many people come up to me and just be inspired by just what we put out into the world, or just like, man, you a great dad. I could tell, that inspired me. I want to be like that, and I don't want to act like I'm just the. It's hard for me to take credit, but I need to. But you just never know who watching. So put on for your kids. Like X, he posts everything with his girls. Like shout out X, Trez and Trail. I be hating because they got the ability. They be making highlights for their boys. They 4 and 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? Like they document their whole children's life. You know that they there, and these just people that surround me. I know, just like I said earlier, Greg and Deezy, they named their business after their children. It's undeniable. You're putting your children out in the forefront. And I see a lot of other men in the community that, I just can't name everybody while I'm sitting right here that's doing it too. So, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm about 30 minutes in or so. But I'm going to use this last point just as just a note to my own child, to myself. So I'm gonna be talking to my son or to myself. I don't even know, but to Noah Coleman, I love you. You changed my life. I feel it. You changed the world. The moment you popped out your mother's womb, December 30th, you changed the world. You don't even know. You mended a lot of relationships. You sparked growth and development in so many people. Your birth touched a lot of people. It will save a lot of people. I don't know what you're gonna grow up and choose to do, but you changed the world. You're gonna change the world, just by being you, just by being born. You've already impacted thousands. Just your birth has already impacted thousands. You're 2.5. You sparked something in me that I didn't have the ability to comprehend or muster up on my own. You showed me that the world is bigger than myself, your mother. It's bigger than money. I grew up thinking that money make the man, essentially. Not my character, but that would be my impact to the world. But you showed me that emotionally, there's a lot of growth that needs to happen in our community. I didn't know how much emotional development I needed until you came into this world. And the fact that you showed me that, I've been able to share that with many other people. So thank you for that, son. I don't care what you choose to be in the world. I just hope that I can be a positive influence on you and that you can build on the groundwork that I set for you, and that you'll be much more emotional developed than I was at 28. I'm at 28 right now, and I'm just now finding myself emotionally. And when it comes to you, it'll come to you, but hopefully it'll come to you much sooner, and that you'll be able to help other people. Your birth, I don't want to say it saved my marriage. I don't know what it would be, but it made me and your mother much closer. I was so emotionally immature before you got here, and I just want to say thank you. Your birth fixed a lot of relationships with my parents, a lot of relationships between them two. It made me fix some issues that I had with both of them and address them. Man, you just don't even know, son. I just want you to know that I killed for you. It ain't a day that you'll go hungry. I die before that day happens. It ain't a day that you won't have a roof over your head. I die before that happens. If it's ever a moment in my life where you feel like I'm distant from you, I promise you it ain't. I'm probably dead. I'll be dead before I'm not in your life. You could be mad at me. You can be upset with me. You could choose to be distant from me. But one thing that I know is that you'll know that I'm trying to be in your life, because you mean the world to me. I damn near cry every day just looking at your face and just knowing how much you mean to me and how much you changed my life, how much you changed the trajectory of me and your mother's life, how much you just, like I said, you don't know you changed the world. So this is just all off the top of the head, son. This is for you, and I love you. It's hard to even think of having another child, because I'm like, as much as I want to pour into you, man, pouring it into two people is crazy. But I love you so much. I'm at a loss because I'm trying not to cry on this camera, but I really do appreciate you, man. And to Alexis, I know this is Father's Day, but you inspire me to be a better man too. For those that don't know, it was Alexis's idea for me to get into therapy and to work on my relationships with my family, because Noah was coming. And I made excuses for years because Noah wasn't here and I had no reason to do it. So thank you to my wife. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for walking on this journey with me. I mentioned on some other podcasts, but I'm making a shift in my life where I went back to school and I'm just working on this mental health journey. And my wife has been there and been supportive. That does mean me being away from the house a little bit more, or being not available as much. And she's been totally supportive of that. So I know I started this podcast saying shout out to all our men, but I just want to say thank you to my baby. And again, thank you to my dad, Derek, all of the men that I'm watching out there that don't know that I'm watching. Keep being a light. Keep showcasing yourself to the community, because it's so much needed. Like I said, this is my first time going solo, so I promise you next time I pop on here solo, I'll be much more prepared. It's literally Sunday morning, Father's Day morning. I'm ready to get back to my family, but I feel like I need to pop on here and say something. So to all my dads out there, keep doing what you're doing. To all of the fellas that's not in their children's lives right now, but you want to be, make it happen. No excuses. To all of the people out there that don't have children yet, you can impact another child's life. Trust me. Just get involved, especially if you're doing something positive. They looking for somebody to look up to. And all the single mothers out there, I'm sorry that y'all have to be in that situation. I know a lot of y'all choose to be. But please seek out or seek a good male role model for your children, young men and young women. They need a positive male to see that they are out here. Because a lot of people grow up thinking that N words ain't S. I don't want to cuss on here because I've been keeping it clean for the most part on here. But a lot of people think all men is the same. We ain't no good and blah, blah, blah. So it's important to put those good men out there in the world. And I really love building black families, man. Getting married to me is so important. You don't necessarily have to get married. You don't have to put the ring on. But creating healthy relationships for the children to see is just so important to me. So I'm going to get off of here. Like I said, I can sit here and ramble all day. I'm about to try to get back to my family. Thank y'all if y'all tuned in and watched this. If y'all turn it off, I appreciate y'all too. But I'm going to start getting on here kind of doing some solo dolo stuff. I'm going to make this kind of as my journal, my safe space, a chance for me to share some of my thoughts with y'all, some of the stuff that I'm going through, because I'm going through a lot. And I realize the more that I share, the more people I can help, and the more people, I don't want to say save because I ain't nobody's savior. Ain't that what Kendrick said? But just let them know they ain't walking alone. So with that being said, I'm putting his Wayne back on, and we're going to ride out. Peace.